2 with Max Credit Union.
Wiley Sanders Truck Line, the place that puts God and family first. How long you been driving for Wiley Sanders?
7 years.
How long you been driving for Wiley?
6 years.
How many miles you get away?
2,500.
Wow. How many miles you get away?
2,700.
Are you in the 401k?
Yes, sir.
Matching at 4%?
Yes.
Wow. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama. Are y'all happy?
Oh, very happy.
Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama. Come drive for the best today. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama.
Good. Okay, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Troy Cable and the Charles Henderson High School Coaches Football Show. And I'm excited to welcome Coach Quinn Hambright into the studio. Coach.
Yes, sir.
How you been, man?
I'm well. Blessed and highly favored.
Yes, sir. That's great. Well, Coach, the football's in the air. The stadium lights will be coming on pretty quick.
Yes,
and,
sir.
Man, there's a lot of excitement across the state and all the communities, and
Yeah.
Troy's no different. And I know you kids are excited to finally play a game.
Oh yeah, they're tired of beating up on each other.
Yeah.
So this part of the season is hard. It's like pulling teeth because it's for 2 weeks you just beat up on each other. And they were excited when they got passed on. They were excited about the week. So hopefully we can go out and compete, pretty well Friday.
Right, yeah. Well, tell me a little bit about your summer. I know, the old coaches saying a lot of games are won in the weight room and conditioning during the summer.
Definitely.
But y'all did a lot of 7-on-7 and OTA. And tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, the first 7-on-7 was at Troy University. We finished top 4, lost to the champions, a team from Florida, in the semifinals. So we did an excellent job there. Our second 7-on-7, we was at Alabama State University, where we tied for first place because of a lightning delay. Yeah. But we were up when the delay was set in stone. So I feel like we won that one. Right. We had an OTA against Auburn High School, and Auburn High School is Auburn University. Those kids are they're competitive and they're pretty big. Lochapoka, they were there. Yeah. Then we went to Prattville, Carver, Park Crossing, competed well there as well. Of course, spring game we played against Lee High School in the spring, and 7A playoff team. So we competed and won that one. Of course, it's the spring, but it's a start.
That's right.
And I was extremely proud of their effort and their hard work thus far, leading to the spring and carrying that on through the summer for sure.
Right. And competing against those teams, that makes you better.
Yeah, it does.
No doubt about it. So that was a good, productive summer then.
Oh yeah, it was. Every team was a 6, 7, 8 team that we competed against. So, and I try to get us to top-notch competition for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Well, look, I know you're into your preseason now. We're at the end of the 3rd week, and tell me a little bit about your returning players. I know that I've read up on some on your team, and I know you said that you had like 95% of your team returning.
Definitely.
I know you were young last year, but tell me about some kids coming back.
Yeah, we were babies last year, and honestly, we're still babies this year. A lot of those were 9th to 10th graders that had to play. I say it every time. We didn't have a JV schedule because we played on Friday nights. So the starting quarterback is back, starting running back. There's Parker Adams and Zach Coleman. 4 of our 5 starting O-linemen are back, and one of them's had to stop because of health issues. But they're back. Benton Dunn, Zamir Caffey, Sterling Sharp, Philip. What's Philip last name? Yeah, I forgot his name, but I fuss at him so much I should know it. But Philip is a big, strong, physical, athletic kid. Philip is about 6'2", 320 pounds, and he moves like he's 190. So defensively, we have Zion Grady. He just got his 4-star on 3 Sports.
Awesome.
He has 2 SEC offers right now, Troy University as well. Auburn, Tennessee. So he's a sophomore that's on the rise for sure. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, he's on the rise for sure. Damian Hart, of course, the anchor in the middle. We have Brandon Gibbons. He's a quiet assassin, big, strong kid that nobody knows about, but his name will be on the map for sure. And there's a host of kids. If I don't want to miss anybody's name, but we have a talented group of kids. If they put it together, make these puzzle work, I think we'll be successful.
Right. Well, Have you got any returning specialty people in the kicking game, or have you had to develop that? Or?
No, Nick Pearson is probably one of the best kickers that I've ever seen.
Awesome.
Nick, he's a junior. He was All-State last year. So he was a kid that went 4 for 4 field goals, 47-yarder, 38, 42, and a 35. So all of them were, tough kicks. He missed 2 extra points, but that was because they were blocked. So.
Now, is he your kickoff guy also?
Kickoff, punt guy.
Okay.
He's my kick specialist. Like, he can do everything. And
Right.
Jawan Boyd, who's a returner. He plays receiver for us. One of the best athletes I've ever seen. Some of the best ball skills I've ever seen. And he's also, a great returner in the return game too.
I'll tell you what, kicking game is important. You can get those big plays and also field position, and so that's good. You return that guy, but.
Definitely.
Coach, you're Class 5A Region 2, and I'm looking at your schedule now. Let's talk a little bit about it, and and we'll preview the Pike County game in just a minute. But I noticed you obviously open up with Pike County, and then but you want to talk a little bit. I noticed you got, I guess you got an open date the last game, so you got 10 straight games.
Definitely. Yeah, open with Pike County rivalry game. I wish it was a regular season game, but right now it's a preseason jamboree game.
Right.
So it doesn't count against our record. We have Mary Montgomery 7A Automobile that's coming to us, and with a 6-game home stretch. With Greenville, Carroll, Beauregard. Greenville and Carroll, 2 region games. If we win those 2 games, then we're automatically in the playoffs. Yeah. So that's the beauty of a 6-man region, I think, 6 or 7-man region we have.
Actually, yeah, exactly. You got 5 region games, so you're the 6th team.
Yeah, so 6-game region. We win 2, you're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they're still tough. Greenville's going to be tough.
Right.
They have Pike Road's old head coach Patrick Brownie,
right.
so they're going to be tough. Carroll has Coach Plott, who's an exceptional coach. Who he took Greenville to the 4th round of the playoffs when he was there, the head coach there. Rehoboth, Headland. And we gained a powerhouse in Eufaula.
Right.
So Eufaula.
They dropped down.
Yeah. So I thought I can get away from them when I was at Carver, but they were going to stay 7A. But I come to Charles Henderson, they followed me right along.
You probably know Coach Jernigan, I'm sure.
Well, I don't know him personally, and I did. I knew their old coach.
Yeah.
Because I coached against him when I was at Carver.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, man, I can't get away from this guy, man. I'm glad that he's going to be successful at Pike Road for sure, but. It's still a tough schedule. Not as tough as last year's, but definitely a tough schedule.
Well, I noticed, and I may be wrong here, but is this right where you have like 14 seniors, 14 juniors, 14 sophomores?
It's about even across the board.
Like that's huge.
Yeah, it's about even across the board. We have about 60, 61 players.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's.
But I mean, that's big numbers in every class.
Yeah, it's big numbers in every class, so we can kind of regroup as we go.
Yeah.
This senior class has a lot of skill guys.
Right.
So next year, our trenches, going to stay, but next year we're gonna be tough, but we lose a lot of speed. We're gonna lose a lot of speed, but I'm happy we have it this year though, for sure.
Right. Sure. Well, I'll tell you what, Coach. Let's talk about your first opponent, and you've already answered one of the questions I was going to ask you. Of course, this is week 0.
Yes.
What people are calling week 0, and some people played the Jamboree last week, and they're counting this game.
Yes.
But I guess you said a while ago, y'all will, Pike County will be counting it.
No, sir.
So it'll be, so you got 9 regular season games.
Yes, sir.
I guess. Okay. But I assure you it'll be played like a regular game.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. That 4th quarter, I'm gonna pull some of the guys. Whatever the score is.
Right.
People may get mad at me or whatever, but we have a 9-game stretch that we have to compete with. So whatever that score is, I might pull a few guys here and there, get those young guys some reps, just to make sure that they when their time comes, week 5, if we need them, they'll be ready.
I'm good. Yeah, I get you. Well, let me ask you this. Of course, Coach Mark Hurts, first year. I don't know, if you know Mark or how long you've known him or et cetera, but what do you expect from them, on offense, defense, and maybe kicking game?
Yeah, he doesn't know this, but I coached against him when he was the head coach at Blunt High School.
Okay.
We beat him in the playoffs when I was at Carver High School, my first tenure there. And We went down there. They were tough. They were physical. They were fast. They were strong. And that's exactly what I expect out of Pike County.
Right.
I think Pike County's back. They recruited the school. They got their players back.
Right.
They were there before. So he's done an exceptional job in getting kids out there. That's the first step. Now the second step for him is to get them to buy into his program.
Right.
And he's going to do that. I know he is. But I expect them to be fast. I expect them to, spread the ball around. Run the ball around the perimeter, keep the ball on the outsides. Defensively, they have some good skill guys. They have guys that play both ways, and they're talented enough to do that. So it's going to be tough. I tell my guys, you respect every person that lines up in front of you.
That's right.
You don't, whether it's 1A, 2A, that guy has the ability to beat you.
That's right.
Whether it's a 1% chance or whether it's a 10% chance or whether it's a 98% chance, there's still a chance. So, you respect that man in front of you for sure, but, you don't fear anybody. And that's my mentality going into the game. That's the kids' mentality going into the game, and I hope they compete as such.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, this has been I'll say a friendly rivalry for many, many years. And
definitely.
It's a good way to open up the season now, and of course, it's great for both communities.
Definitely.
It's a big money game for the whole school.
The whole school, for sure.
It's just a win-win in all areas. A lot of kids know each other.
All of them.
And but I'm gonna tell you, the smaller communities, when the stadium lights come on, I mean, it's exciting.
It turns on.
And it'll be a huge crowd Friday night for sure.
Yeah.
And well, Coach, I always like to kind of we're dwindling down to the end of our interview, but give me your keys to winning Friday night.
Effort, discipline, and sacrifice. A lot of those kids, and that's what I've been preaching to them. If you give maximum effort, if you're disciplined in everything you do, alignment, assignment, fly to the ball. And same thing for the offense. Alignment, assignment, take care of the ball. If we're disciplined in all aspects and sacrifice for each other, and not be selfish but selfless, I think we have a chance to compete in the football game.
Yeah, that sounds good. And of course, we want to tell all our listeners and people watching, of course, that the game will be at 7 o'clock in Brundage, Friday night. And now, do you know? Of course, it's not your home game, but do you know anything about tickets? I wonder.
Yeah, GoFan, and I think they're going to be $8. I think.
Okay. And they also can get them at the gate.
Yes.
I guess. Okay. Well, I know you want to invite everybody out, and let me ask you this: your boosters and all. I know you got a lot of parents excited about the season, and
they are.
And so I'm sure they're doing a lot for y'all.
Oh yeah, they're more excited than I am. As a coach, man, we expect a lot of good things out of y'all, and I expect them as well.
Yeah.
But it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting for the season, for this game.
I talked with a couple of parents. Last year they were really excited about. I mean, you were young, and they knew that.
Yeah.
But they were saying we're going to be young this year, but next year we're going, which is now.
Yeah.
So I think you got a lot of excitement, and of course,
definitely.
Pike County's got a lot of excitement. It's going to be a great game.
Yeah, it will.
For
it
sure.
will. Great
And,
atmosphere. For sure.
Right. And but Coach, I want to let me just take 1 minute to thank you for obviously we're proud you're in Troy.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been a lot of places. You've got a lot of experience as a coach. But we're proud you're here. I haven't been around you a lot, but what little bit I've been around you, I mean, you're a quality guy. You're a good coach. I think you headed in the right direction.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But let me tell you, what you do and your counterparts do for high school athletics is immeasurable. I mean, these kids, they need it.
Yes.
And they need to learn to compete. There's so many lessons learned between them lines.
Definitely.
that you just don't get anywhere else.
Life lessons, for sure.
So I appreciate what you do, and I know everybody else does as well.
Thank you so much.
But so look here, Friday night, Pike County High, and I tell you, thank you for coming. I appreciate it, and I look forward to talking with you next week.
Definitely.
Good luck to you, Coach.
Appreciate you.
Take care.
Go
man.
Trojans.
Brundage Building Supply.
I appreciate it.
Center, Jackson Harbor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But, go down and get
Appreciate it.
Coach, you all right?
We're going to try to
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Troy Cable. I was going to say Channel 52, but it's Channel 2 now. And also to the Goshen High School Eagle Coaches Show. And I am super excited to welcome Coach Don Moore into the studio. And Coach, how you been?
Good. Doing well so far.
Yeah.
Just on the grind.
Yeah. Well,
it's that time of year.
Coach, it's your second year.
Yes, sir.
And, I mean, y'all been through, we could talk all night about COVID and all that kind of stuff and the restrictions that's been on you.
Right.
But you got to feel pretty good this summer going into your second year and being able to, look back and you know what I'm saying. It's just
Yes, sir.
It's been an advantage for you, I know.
Last year was a definite learning curve for everybody, especially our players. We had so many young guys playing. We basically played, like I said, a JV team out there against varsity players. So we got a lot of experience coming back.
Right.
We did well in the spring game, which helped morale and summer workouts and everything. So we've had a pretty good summer. Right now we're just in that lull right now. I feel it's just kids are ready to play, and coaches are kind of ready to get there too. So that's where we're at.
Yeah. Now, did you play a jamboree last week?
No, sir.
Okay. But you played a spring game?
Yes, sir, we did.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Well, I tell you what, Coach, Friday night the stadium lights are going to come on, and these,
That's right.
and I'm going to tell you what, I was at Goshen for 11 years.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to tell you this, all the schools and communities in the state will be fired up this week.
Oh, yeah.
But the smaller communities that, everybody comes out, those lights come on, you can see them for miles. It's just a lot of excitement in the community. And
it is.
And I know your booster club is super.
Oh,
always
they are.
has been.
They are. They're very well.
But I know your kids are excited to play.
Yes, sir, they are. And like you was mentioning about Goshen and the small town, and that's one of the main reasons I tell everybody. I told people that day one, and I still tell them this now, is that's one of the reasons why I love Goshen and why I wanted to come there and be a coach, because I started my career there as a coach and a teacher, and I love that small town atmosphere, and everybody comes out and supports. We didn't have a great season last year, but you wouldn't have known it by the stands,
right?
Because they packed it out, and you can't ask for anything better.
Yeah, and you know what? That consistency in backing you, because all teams go through ups and downs.
Yes, sir.
But I've talked with people out that way, and they're excited about what's coming on. I know you got it headed in the right direction, but I want to briefly talk with you a little bit about did your summer go well? Your weightlifting?
Yes, sir, it did. It went extremely well.
Yeah.
Extremely well. So we had a good turnout. It was I couldn't ask for much better.
That's great, because coaches say, hey, a lot of games are won during the summer.
That's right.
Conditioning and,
yeah.
and strength training. I tell you what, Coach, tell me a little bit about some of your returning players since you were there last year.
Yes, sir.
That you're going to be counting on.
Right off the bat, Christian Simmons, he's going to be a big player for us. He's playing inside linebacker, and he's one of our offensive guards this year. He got a lot of experience last year. We kind of moved him from D-line to linebacker this year. Lance Hillary is going to be another one. He's the offensive defensive lineman. Peyton Stamey's right now taking the reps at quarterback. But we also got a younger guy that didn't play last year because he hurt himself. He broke his knee or right above his knee playing football in the yard right before 4th of July. So he was out the whole time, had surgery and stuff. So he's back, and he's splitting some time with Stamey back there. Jay McNabb, Samaric Andrews was our running back last year. That he's going to be a big time player for us. He plays offensive defense, and Jamari McClure, he's a guy that practiced with us all year last year, but wasn't eligible because of his grades.
Wow.
Because of COVID and virtual school. He didn't fail anything, but he didn't pass it with enough points to put him in. So,
but he
practiced
time,
the
man.
entire time,
great.
and
Yes,
that's what I tell people that all the time about that young man. His character on that, like that takes a lot of character, and a kid that really cares about his school and his football team.
Definitely.
He's our running back this year. He's our starting tailback and our strong safety, and he's I tell people all the time, he's going to have his coming out party this year. He's a diamond in the rough. He's a secret.
And he's eager to play. I
Oh,
know.
yes, he is.
Yes.
He is.
Well, Coach, what about any specialty people you got coming back? You know, kicking game or kickers, or have you had to develop those this
Well, I
year?
got my punter's coming back, Andrew Galloway. My returners are pretty much coming back. KJ Bristow's going to help us in the return game. He's also one of our wing backs and our cornerback. And our kicker last year, we had some guys kicking,
Right.
but you know what I mean?
Yeah. I got you.
But we
yeah.
do have some this year.
Yeah.
C.J. Thompson's come out and he's kicking. We got another kid, Zion Picatoste. He's an 8th grader. He's a soccer guy, so he comes
great.
out and kicks. So
Yeah.
we've gotten better in the kicking game just by recruiting the hallways and getting kids out.
Right. Well, I'll tell you this. I joke with Coach sometimes. To me, the best play in football is when you can kick it off and put it in the end zone.
Oh yeah.
Now, a lot of people can't do that, but some people can. But look, when they got to start on the 20,
Oh, it's a huge
I mean, that's
advantage.
huge. That's huge. But anyway, let's look at your schedule a minute. And I know you're in Class 2A,
Yes, sir.
Region 3, and you dropped down from Class
Did.
3A last year. And I know, number one, that makes you feel better. But number two, you're still in a pretty tough region.
It is, and you know,
Yeah.
people, you know, as soon as those regions come out, and you know, it wasn't exactly what we were hoping for, but you know, I tell people this all the time. I said, I'll take it over playing the Montgomery private schools any day. You know,
But your returning players had to compete at that
They
level, then that ought to help them, obviously,
we're hoping
with the
so.
conference, yes. Well, I see you open up with Daleville at home,
Yes, sir.
and it's a non-region game, and they're a Class 3A team.
Right.
So that's huge for you to have a home game right off the bat.
It is.
So,
It is. And one of our coaches told me that's been there for a while. Said it's the first opening season home game that Coach has had since 2017.
Wow.
I think it's what he said, 17 or 18.
Right.
So it's been a while. You know, I remind our kids of that, and I remind our kids that it's been a while since Coach has won a home game.
Right.
So let's, you know, those are all
Well,
things.
you,
to be able for.
I see you got 10 straight games. You got an open week the last week of the season.
Yes, sir.
So you don't get a break during the season.
I do not.
So, and you got 7 region games. So
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, Coach, let's talk a little bit about Daleville. You know, that is your opening opponent Friday night at 7:00. And do you know much about them? I know I was listening to the radio a little bit, and Will Garner, I believe, is the head
Yes,
coach.
sir, he is.
And I think he has coached some in Troy. I don't
He
know
has.
Will, but do you know much about them? What to expect?
I know a little bit. They played a spring game, but they only played 2 quarters because they got rained out.
Okay.
So they played the first half, and that was it. And then their offense coordinator left, which ironically used to be my offense coordinator when I was at Dale County. When I left, he left and went to Daleville, and then now he's back at Dale County. So I know what they were running.
Right.
I don't know what they're running now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that happens.
it's you know, and you know, with a small sample size, I don't know. I know they're big up front. And I know they got a good quarterback and they got a really good running back, and the quarterback is very, very dynamic with the ball in his hands. So we're going to have to do our job on defense. That's for sure.
Right. Well, I know you kids are looking forward to the game, and, you know, like I said, finally getting to play again.
Yes, sir.
But, well, Coach, I always like to kind of ask this toward the end of the interview, and what are the keys to victory Friday night?
Physicality. You know, we talk big about physicality on defensively. We got to get lined up and, you know, and know our leverage when we're going to tackle. You know, we got a pursuit of the ball. We're big on talking about leverage tackling, or you're an inside hip fitter, you're an outside hip fitter, and knowing where you are in space. Those are sure things. Now, we got to be able to tackle and be physical up front. Offensively, is almost the reverse effect. We got to fire off the ball, and we got to get hands on. We got to drive people. We got to move, and we got to create creases for our running backs. And kicking game is, you know, we got to shore up ours, and you know, if they make mistakes, we got to take advantage of their mistakes and minimize ours.
Right. Well, that sounds like a good plan. Well, Coach, I know do you know anything about tickets? You know,
Yes, sir.
you know,
We'll be selling them this year, all year. on GoFan, or you can get them at the gate.
Okay.
We're also doing reserve seating.
Okay.
So it's $60 for your reserve seat, and that's including your season ticket price. So if you want those, you can come get them. You can email Sheila Ballard, our cheer sponsor. It's S Ballard, BALLARD at PikeCountySchools.com, and she'll get you set up with those. The first home game, we're not going to. If you bought them already, you're going to obviously get your seat.
Right.
But we're not going to kick people out of that spot right now
I got
to
you.
get because it's a new thing. But
Sure.
by the time we have our second one,
Right.
it'll be, if it's reserved, that's only for reserved people. But I mean, it's a heck of a deal. You get there as late as you want to, and you got your
Exactly.
spot already there,
Right.
and it includes your tickets. So,
Hey.
so we'll be doing those as well. So we'll have all
awesome.
three working.
Well, I know you want to invite everybody out. Let's
Yes,
pack
sir.
the stadium Friday night and support the Eagles. And Coach, and I want to take a minute before we have to go to break. I want to thank you for what you do every day. Because,
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Coaches like yourself, I mean, high school kids need athletics.
Oh yeah.
And for you to be the role you're in, and everybody wants to win the game. Sure they do. But, that's not every bit of it.
Right.
And I just appreciate what you do and all your counterparts, what they do. And I just thank you for doing that. There's a lot of sacrifice on you and your
Yes,
family.
sir. I appreciate it.
But you wouldn't do it if you didn't care about the kids.
Well, that's
And,
true.
and I know they feel the same way, and I appreciate that, and just wanted to tell you that.
Yes, sir.
But well, look here, I hope we get to talk with you next week,
Yes,
and
sir.
maybe we'll be talking about a big victory
I hope so.
over Devil.
It's going to be a tough one.
Hey,
though.
good luck to
Yes,
you.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Take
Thank you.
care.
Oh, my hands done showed up. No, sir.
Hey, good job, man. Appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey, if I didn't have to go to Clay Chalkville, I'd get me one of them $60. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Troy Cable and the Pike Liberal Arts Coaches Show. I'm excited to welcome into the studio Coach Baxley, Travis Baxley.
Yes, sir.
And how you been?
Great, doing great. Busy, but we're all busy this time of year, and it's a labor of love. And
There you go.
if you're not in it for the lifestyle, you need to go sell insurance
Need to do something else.
we work 24/7 this time of year. That's
Coach,
right.
you said exactly what I was thinking. But hey, look though, I know everybody's proud you're here in Troy. Proud you at Pike Lib, and I know a little bit about you. I know you're good friends with my son.
Yep.
And, but y'all had a great year last year. You were D coordinator at the 5A
Yep.
state champion.
Yes, sir.
And you've been around other programs and stuff. So you bring in a wealth of experience and knowledge to Troy.
Yep.
And I know everybody's glad you're here, and excited about the season. Getting started.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
But look here, I would ask you about summer workout and stuff, but you haven't been here I mean, you got here when?
Well, I was hired June the 16th, and it was really sort of the last week of June before we started getting together doing team stuff, and then the 4th of July and that sort of stuff.
Right.
And so it was really after the 4th of July week before we really
Actually
got rolling, and with our offensive and defensive install, and part of that is trying to figure out personnel and who can do what and who fits where, and that determines what you can do scheme-wise. And so we went to work with that immediately,
Right.
and to a certain degree, we're still feeling our way through that.
Yeah.
And but we our coaching staff, and I think we have the best 2A coaching staff in the state.
Awesome.
And we have 9 coaches plus myself, and there's not many 2A programs that can roll that many coaches out there.
Definitely.
And so we've just gone to work, and we've put our kids to work, and they have responded well. You sort of mentioned sort of a tradition of winning here with the last 2 AISA state championships, and public ball is different, but a winning culture is a winning culture. And what kids expect to happen, it's amazing how big of an impact that has on what actually happens.
Right.
And I've been on teams where kids are just waiting for the bottom to fall out, and I'll be darned every time it does.
Yep.
And I've been on teams
I
where
agree.
they expect that at the end they're going to pull it out, and I'll be darned, they do.
Yeah.
And so we are focused on continuing that culture of winning. And we're going to go into every week feeling like we have a chance to win a ball game.
There you go.
Yep.
That mentality and philosophy, that's perfect.
Yep.
Hey, of course, your task obviously is going from the AISA to the Alabama High School Athletic
Yep.
Association. And I applaud you for taking the challenge on.
Yep.
And it will pay off. You know,
Yep.
anytime, people take a step like this, it's a bold step. But, when you look back, it was the step you needed to take,
Right.
and it pays off. And there's some hard knocks to start with, and there may
Yep.
be.
Yep.
But it's all a part of the growth
Right.
and the program and stuff. And I know you're excited about that challenge.
Yep. Well, the key word is growth.
Yeah.
And it's not just with our athletic program, but with our entire school, with our entire community.
Yeah.
I think we had won back-to-back AISA championships in football, in basketball, and baseball.
Right.
So I feel like we had just sort of maxed out our potential there, and look, it's sort of like you buy a fish and you put him in a small tank, and he's only going to grow to a certain size. You put him in a bigger tank, and he keeps growing, and he fits his environment. And so the opportunity of us moving to the AHSAA, it's tough, but that's the only way to grow is to get out of your comfort zone, get out of what is easy, take on challenges. You win some of those challenges, you lose some of those challenges, but as long as you're growing and learning and progressing from them, then it's nothing but positive.
And I'm going to tell you something. What you just said is the kind of coach they needed to get them to where they want to be. I mean, you got the right philosophy of what you're saying, because you know how it's going to work. But let me ask you this: not having been there last year, but what about your returning players? I mean, who are you counting on?
Well, we're counting on everybody, and it doesn't matter. And I've been at 6A, 5A schools, and you go all the way down. The quality of your scout team has a direct impact to your performance on Friday night. So when you talk about who we're counting on every player that's on our roster to bring attitude and effort and focus and intensity to every single thing we do. And that filters up. So it's probably odd starting at the bottom and working up, but when you've coached a little while, you understand that to get the looks you need to get better, it starts with those young guys giving you the looks on the scout team. But to your question, we have a great senior class. We have 7 of them. Casey Bradford, Keith Williams, call him TT, Colton Taylor, Cade Renfro, Davis Kilcrease, Corey Jones. And it's always tough because you're afraid you're going to leave somebody out. And that's all. That's all right because I've been asked enough now that I've almost got it down. Right. And Levi DeBoer, and they are senior players, and they have played a lot of football, and they're the heart and soul of our team. And the underclassmen feed off of that, right. And that just sort of goes back to the winning culture. And you all, if your leaders are not your senior class, you're in a bad spot. And as your younger guys see what right. the senior guys expect, the way they practice habits, attitude, willing to do anything you ask. Then they're going to follow suit because that's the only thing they know. Right. That's right. And now, younger classmen, we have our rising 10th grade class is just a fantastic class, numbers-wise, athletically. And you go to the younger two Williams brothers, Nemo and Bubba, and two great young quarterbacks, Dawson Bradford, Cade Brookins. Wide receivers, we call him JB, Jackson Booth, and I know I'm leaving some out of that sophomore right. class because it is so big. Right. But the present is bright and the future is bright. Right. And so we lean on everybody in our program to know their role, accept their role, and embrace it with focus and intensity. And it's too much of a team game to just lean on one or two. You got to be able to lean on everybody that's on your roster.
Well, I'll tell you this: that's the best answer I've heard about when you're asked. Any coach is asked about returning players, who you counting on. What you said, I'm counting on everybody. Yep. Because there's not a more true statement than that. Yep. But, well, Coach, let me ask you let's talk a little bit about your schedule.
Sure.
It's probably the toughest schedule in the state.
No doubt.
I think you've said that in the paper.
Yep.
And you will play your first Alabama High School Athletic Association ball game this Friday night, Mobile Christian.
Yep.
And we won't go down the list of everybody, but
sure.
I would say this: you got, and I look forward to talking with you every week.
Sure.
Because you got a couple of Georgia teams, mm-hmm. and we'll talk about those at the appropriate time.
Yep.
But you know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this. Everybody that goes to that stadium, they're pulling for one team or the other. But if you've got an impartial person, they want to see kids compete.
That's right.
And there's gonna be a winner and somebody not come out on top, but they want to see for 48 minutes kids competing.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you your kids are going to compete. Just from talking with you, I guarantee you they're going to compete.
Well, we are going to compete, not just because the schedule's hard, because that's the way that we go about our business. And I tell our kids when we turn on film that our practice film on a random July Tuesday should look the same as a semifinal game on Friday night in November. And that's what we demand from them, and that's what they want demanded from them. Kids will meet the expectation you set. If you set it low, they'll meet it. If you set it high, they'll meet it. So we set the bar high for our kids, and regardless of the schedule, and I've said this before also, it don't matter if we play the Dallas Cowboys this Friday. It don't change one thing about what we've got to do to get ourselves ready to compete and play. Mm-hmm. So when I say that the opponent doesn't matter, that's our in the bunker mentality. Now, yes, your opponent matters, but we don't think about those things because that don't help us get ready.
That's right.
And so that is our approach every day.
Sounds good. Well, listen, tell me, do you know much about Mobile Christian?
I know they're Mobile Christian. I know they're Mobile Christian. And I know year in and year out they are a quality program. And if you look at their record last year, 5-5 first round knockout. Well, they were also 4A last year for the first time in a long time, and 4A in Mobile is nothing to shake a stick at. And they're back down to 3A where they should probably be. And you know that you're going to get athletic players that are well coached, that are in a program that demands discipline. And to be honest with you, as we make the transition to public school ball, there's a couple of schools that I've identified as the blueprint for us. Now we're a microcosm of that because we're just in a smaller city, but they build the core of their team and the core of their culture with their in-house kids, and they start with the Pee Wee program. And when you play them on Friday night, that left guard has played left guard since he was in the 4th grade.
That is so true.
And every step he takes is exactly what he's coached to do. And they're going to do the right thing 10 out of 10 times. And when you only do them right 8 out of 10 times, that's a 3-touchdown difference in the game.
That's right.
And we have a lot of respect for all of our opponents, and I will say this, Coach Cottrell, he has been as generous and as helpful, and he has given me advice, and just because they were where we are just a few years ago.
That's right.
And just in my couple of conversations with him, there's just no doubt that he is a stand-up coach, and you can tell that he's earned and he deserves every bit of success that he's had there. Right. And so I have a lot of respect for him, and but at the same time, we're going to do us,
right.
And they're going to get our best shot.
Right. Good deal. Well, Coach, I just, we got to close here in a minute, but and I look forward to talking with you next week.
Sure.
But I just want to thank you for what you're doing. High school athletics is important.
Yep.
And these kids need it.
Yep.
And they need the discipline. And I love what you said about the expectations. They definitely will meet what you demand of them.
Yep.
But I want to thank you for coming tonight, and we'll invite all your supporters to go down. I know it's a long way, but I guarantee you'll travel well.
Well, from what I've heard, and this is my first foray into private school, we travel. Yeah. And our guys support us. Our supporters, community support us, and it doesn't matter how far we go, buddy. They're gonna be there, and we're gonna need that. And so we thank our community and our supporters. And we're going to travel in force, no doubt.
Yeah. Well, hey, thank you for coming tonight.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Troy Cable and Pike County High School Bulldog, the Coaches Show. And I'm excited to welcome into the studio Coach Mark Hurt.
Change helmets.
Oh, my goodness gracious. We sure do need to, don't we, Coach?
Yes.
Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna take my lapel mic off and actually do that for you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're gonna get your helmet up here real quick.
Yes, sir.
What about that?
That's a lot better.
A lot better, huh? Okay. You better now?
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
So, Coach, listen, welcome back to Troy.
Thank you.
And I tell you what, I've talked with people in the community, and they're excited you're here. I know you've been away, and you've had a good career, and you've been a part of state championship teams, and you played at Pike County, and it's just exciting to have you back.
Well, it's exciting to be back, and just looking forward to getting to work and reestablishing the program. I don't want to say rebuild because
Right.
Pike County has done well in the past few years, and we just want to get it back on track. Last year was a bad year; it was an anomaly, in my opinion.
Right.
But we just want to reestablish that pride back in the community and in the players and in the school, and just get it back to the level that it was at one point in time.
Right. And I guarantee you're the guy to do that.
We're working at it.
But you know what? Around the state, all the communities this Friday, there's going to be a lot of excitement in the air. The stadium lights are going to come on. But the smaller communities, everybody comes out. I mean, it's like they shut the town down and you hear all that kind of talk. And Brundage is that kind of place. I've known it, been in the system for years myself. And when those lights come on, people come out. And you'll have that stadium full Friday night.
Well, I hope to have a stadium full, and I believe we'll have a big turnout. As you know, football put Brundage on the map.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pride that was established behind that. A lot of people in the community always wanted to come and see, as they used to say, their Bulldogs play.
Yeah.
And, it's just a small community where a lot of people saw kids growing up when they were younger and playing outside and running around and, doing things in the community. And now that kids are starting to grow and get older, people just want to come out and see them do well.
Right. Well, Coach, you got the job officially around what time?
January.
Okay. So did you? So how did your summer workouts go?
I think everything went well. We have a lot of kids that really they don't have a lot of playing experience. So we just want to pound the weight room and try to get as many reps as we could in running and conditioning and in the spring.
Right.
And it helped, but we still have ways to go. But what I do like about the kids is they work hard and they're committed, and I just think we're going to progress. We'll get better as we go.
Right. Now, did you have a spring jamboree or?
No, I actually had a purple and white game.
Purple and white game.
Yes.
Okay. Because I know I guess you can now have a spring jamboree or a fall jamboree in the HSAA now. Where used to, you couldn't have a fall jamboree, but now you can. But anyway, I was just curious about that. But well, let me ask you this: what about since you weren't there last year? Do you know much about? Well, obviously you do now. You returning players. Who are you really counting on?
Well, really, the team was pretty
some
young.
you've added.
Yeah, but some of the players that I think will be an impact. Ian Foster is one player that actually returned back to Pike County. Mm-hmm. He's a great athlete.
What would he play for you?
He's an athlete. So
So
when you
with
label
that
someone an
impact,
athlete, that you can he could play anywhere
That's
in a
right.
lot of different positions.
That's right.
We have one of our bigger guys is Joseph Wilkerson. I like him, defensive lineman and offensive tackle. I think he, eventually he's going to be a pretty good player for us. Mm-hmm. Virgil Thompson is one of the returning players. that I think he's a senior that I think will do well for us. And we have a lot of players who have not played in a long time that are good athletes, very skilled athletes.
Right.
But, you know, they still lack that experience and game experience.
Right.
And, you know, this game, I think, which is a pretty tough game to start out with, but I think this game will be like a measuring stick in terms of determining how well we handle pressure, how well we can handle situations. Right. And, you know, it's going to just tell a lot in terms of where we are and where we need to be in the future.
I got you. Well, I always like to ask coaches, what about specialists? You got like your kickers and stuff. You got some of those coming back. You had to develop them.
We actually found a couple of young guys that play soccer.
Yeah.
And we have two. We still have one with us, and then we have a younger kicker.
Right.
And you know, they're soccer players, but they're learning how to kick.
Right.
So
that's right.
You know, we're moving in the right direction. I like the direction that we're moving.
Right.
And I like our team. I like our players. You know, they're young and but they're motivated and you know, they're working hard and that's what you want. They're putting forth effort.
And you know what? Young's not always bad.
Right.
I mean, you know, because you got that eagerness and that want to, and it's just like you said, you can't teach experience. You just got to gain that.
Right.
Well, listen, let's talk about your schedule a minute. I know y'all are Class 3A Region 2, and you got a pretty tough region this year. But of course, you open up with Charles Henderson, and then I think I counted right. You got 8 region games. Is that true? Is that about right?
We have a opening, but yes, just about every game is a region game except for Headland. Yeah. Headland is one of those games that's not a region game.
In fact, Charles Henderson and Headland, I guess, are the only 2 non-region games you got.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
you know, I haven't been in the area in a while, and you know, when I played, it was a whole different region.
That's right.
You know, you had your Elbas and your other teams, but you know, Ashford was a team we always played in the playoffs, and of course, Op was always one class above us. But you know, I noticed, you know, I've seen some of them from previous years on film, and you know, like I said, it's going to be a tough schedule, but I mean, that's why you play the game.
Oh, definitely.
You know, you play the game, you know, to compete.
1 week at a time.
Yeah, to compete, and you know, it's Pike County football. And like I said, we want to get it back to the map and get it back on the map. And we're not looking for it to be easy. I mean, we didn't win a game last year, but we know we have to step up and compete. And just what we want to do is do a lot better than we did last year and win some games.
Right. Yeah. Well, Coach, let's talk a little bit about your first opponent, Charles Henderson. And now, I understand it's not a game that will count on the schedule. It's still a jamboree, but we know it's going to be played in all aspects like a ball game.
It's Pike County, Charles Henderson.
Exactly. That's all.
I mean, it's a rivalry. It's a rivalry, and you know, it's a lot of bragging rights, and and you know, I don't think we've won a game or beat them in a while, from my understanding. But it's still Pike County, Charles Henderson. It's a rivalry, and a lot of people know each other, and a lot of people want to have fun, and you know, and it's always a great game to play against Charles Henderson.
Well, I tell you, it's great for the communities.
It is.
It's great for the whole school because you can make a lot of money. A lot of kids know each other, as you said, so it's good all around, and it's been played for many years.
It has been.
I know everybody's looking forward to it. And but can you tell us anything about tickets to the game? Like how can they get them at the gate? I guess and.
Yeah, well, most of the tickets are done online.
Okay.
However, we are going to have some tickets at the gate.
Okay.
It'll be $10 at the gate.
Right.
But most of the tickets are online. You go online and through GoFans.
Right.
And purchase them that way.
I got you.
But that's the new trend.
Right.
But yes, but personally, we feel like there are a lot of people, especially older people in the community, that you know not so savvy with cell phones. Yes, so we will have some tickets at the gate, and we hope to have a great turnout, and I think we will. I think it's going to be a great game. Yeah. Charles Henderson has some pretty good players from what I've noticed.
Yeah.
Big play team.
What do you know about them?
Well, a lot of receivers.
Yeah.
And good quarterback, very good quarterback, and running backs, pretty good size running back, and a pretty good size offensive line. So I know they're pretty good in that area, and they make a lot of big plays. Defensively, their defensive front looks pretty solid.
Yeah.
They have a good linebacking core. So, it's going to be a tough game, and we just have to compete with them.
That's right.
We just have to compete with them. And, they may be a little bit ahead of us right now because I think they went through their growing pains last year.
Right. Yeah, they were young.
Right. Yeah, but, they played a lot better in the spring game from what people have said and what I did notice about them.
Right.
And, they play with a little swag. So, I think it's a tough opponent, good opponent, but I think it's also a great game for us in terms of where we're going to be in the future.
That's right. Yeah. Well, Coach, I always like to ask the coach toward the end of the interview, give me some keys to a Bulldog victory.
Well, number one, we can't turn the ball over. That's the same basic rules.
Right. Yeah.
You really have to tackle. Can't miss a lot of tackles.
Right.
And I think the way they throw the ball, if we can prevent a lot of big plays, I think that'll give us a chance.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
That's
But
right.
you always want to tackle well. You always want to block well and not have many turnovers, but create turnovers.
That's right.
And so if we can get the ball to bounce our way a few times, and we can make some plays here and there, and hopefully not give up all the big balls because they have some awesome receivers. I'm telling you, they have some guys that can really go get it.
Okay.
And so if we can hang in there and make some big plays, I think we'll do okay.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, Coach, I know you want to invite everybody out Friday night, 7 o'clock. I forget what they're calling it on the radio earlier. I want to say the clash of something. Some big name they came up with, but it's always a great competitive game. I know you want to invite everybody out, fill the stadium, and I've heard a lot about the way the stadium looks. People that have seen it, so y'all have done a lot of work inside there.
We have.
It looks great.
We've done a lot of painting, and we've put up some new fences.
Right.
And it was time. The stadium's it was an older stadium.
Right.
But we've actually upgraded some of the things, fence and paint, and we cleaned the bleachers.
Yeah.
So it's looking better.
Yeah.
A lot better.
Yeah.
We're proud of it.
Yeah.
And it's our community field. It's where we play all our youth league games. And so all our people are looking forward to coming back and just getting started. It's football season, man.
right.
We love football.
Well, you know what, Coach? When you walk into a stadium, you can see the pride that's been put into it, or the lack of.
Correct.
And Bulldog Stadium's always been a prideful place.
It has
Even
been.
when you played, and now that you're back coaching down there. But listen, I just want to take an opportunity before we have to get off. First of all, I look forward to seeing you again next week. But Coach, I want to thank you for what all you've done for high school athletics, and I know you're going to work hard for all the athletic programs at Pike County High.
That's correct.
And but I just appreciate what you do. I know the community does. It's a sacrifice, for you and your family, but you do it because you care about kids and you want to mold them. And I guarantee you got the program headed in the right direction. And I just appreciate what you do and your counterparts, and just wanted to say that to you. And you got anything else? I know I will say this. I saw Russell Baker the other day, and he was telling me about the Booster Club. So I know they've sold a lot of signs and put them up in the stadium, which we've already talked a little bit about that. So you got a community that's excited about it, the season, and I know your kids are excited to play. And I just want to wish you a lot of luck Friday night.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And
I
welcome
appreciate
back.
it. Yes, sir. Happy to be back.
Yeah. Okay, Coach. Look